employees and intelligence contractors.
I'm a management and programs analyst.
I work in the national security community.
I spent 3.5 years as a contractor at DHS HQ.
If you read the mainstream press, like they all have Signal accounts, text them, leak everything you can. The journalists I've dealt with have been super ethical in ways to shield me to be the source of the leaks.
Groups on the outside being able to show solidarity with federal workers.
Making sure that we're naming what is happening as a coup.
Totally agreed in the shutdown BC conversations that I've been having, and that's not on the federal side. We also are often saying that we call it a coup.
They plan to shut down Washington, D.C. and other major U.S. cities starting November 4th until Inauguration Day.
Do we have any plans for how to respond if there's a coup?
Come to BLM Plaza anytime after 4 p.m. on election night. On the 5th, we're going to shut down the White House.
Map the White House and know every access point so we knew we could blockade it.
On the 6th, we're going to shut down larger parts of Washington, D.C.
We've been working on a target map and a framework for scenario. So where are all the police stations? Where are all the key government buildings? Who are the Trump boosters?
Members of Congress that are coming in, we're going to meet them at the airports or at Union Station and send them back to where they came from until we deal with the situation that we're in.
We are going to be in a crisis, but we want it to be one that we are creating. Whoever's got the guns can win. Let's take over the buildings. If there are people that are willing to do that, we should support them. Get ready to shut your city down on the 4th or the 5th.
Regardless.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is a Zoom call that was picked up by Millie.
Millie Weaver.
Millie Weaver.
And you got
the
the goods, you got the goods.
Millie's got the receipts.
Got the receipts.
That is, and I want to play that later and think, this is stunning. And one of the people in at least 50 was a star of my film, but 10 years ago with Andrew Breitbart, Occupy Unmasked. She is, and I give the devil her due, she's done this for 40 years. She's a tough hombre. Okay, she's a radical. She makes no bones about it. She was one of the people in back of the Occupy movement. I said Occupy Mask because there was the Antifa and the Black Flag groups underneath it. It wasn't the college kids laying on the grates. It was this subterranean that Andrew Breitbart was the first guy to pick up. He pitched me the first time. I go, we get out of here. It's a bunch of kids. I'm from Wall Street. It's a bunch of kids laying on the grates down there by Trinity Church. I'm bored already. He goes, no, you don't understand. And Brandon Darby and Lee Stranahan and Andrew Breitbart had it. And I'm telling you, she was the star of the film, one of the stars of the film, because she's in your grill and she's coming for you, right? They've been planning this for a long time. So don't think these people are not, okay, a couple things. Don't think they're not organized. Don't think they're not smart. I totally disagree with their politics, or most of it. But they're very dedicated to their cause. They're not backing off, right? These are anarchists. These are revolutionaries. We had David Horowitz in the film who had been there, and David Horowitz gave me the greatest line ever. He says, you can't negotiate. There's nothing to negotiate. The purpose of the revolution is the revolution. You can't go to Lafayette, and there's no terms that you can get into a discussion and have. That's why they're very amorphous of what they're looking for.
She just said it. She says the line, we want there to be a social crisis, but a crisis that we create. And they've got the map. They are mapping out the access points to the White House for blockades. If you go to the interactive map that they've set up, which I've accessed, Steve, I showed you this yesterday after the show. And now we're talking about it. They're mapping every Republican address in the city as a potential target.
But you had also said that you were going to be on this Zoom call. Somehow you guys have broken the code about how to get in there, right? These are. I want to make sure. I want to make sure. Okay, I want to make sure the audience understands. Some of the people on here are federal government employees or contractors
by their own admission.
By their own admission, paid for by your tax dollars.
Right. These are people that are inside. When we talked about the anti-Trump resistance in the administration,
in the Trump administration,
the Miles Taylors,
we got to stop with the phony. The swamp thing's too cute. He's a swamp creature. It's too cute. Drop that term in the war room. Scratch it out. Take your pad out. Scratch it out. This is the administrative state, and it's dangerous. Okay, this is the apparatus, not a conspiracy, but there are no coincidences. Right? They're on there working with the anarchist, And this is the third thing, Raheem Kassam. Let's go back, make sure we connect some dots here. Let's go back to the Transition Integrity Project. There's 3 verticals that are converging. And we can go on. We're going to have on our special tomorrow, Bill McGinley will be joining us. We're going to go through all the lawfare part of it. There's suits coming every day. I mean, this thing is now, they're getting ready, and there's a great article in the New Yorker about Pennsylvania, and there's a great article in Reuters today about how Bob Bauer is heading this up. Bob Bauer is the guy, he's Esper's, not Esper, it's Elias. He's Mark Elias's senior partner at Perkins Coie. He's now a law professor. His father was grilled by Roy Cohn during the McCarthy hearings for being sympathetic to communists. Okay? Remember, Cohn and McCarthy were right. The place was in the Nation magazine. I.F. Stone was a KGB asset. Okay, we know that now because of the Verona files, right?
And you can actually